So the rear ends on the 2002 Subarus, or the Bug-Eye Subarus, these make them look pretty average. A lot of it's to kind of do with like that honeycomb effect that it's got underneath the lens. Hoping we can take away some of that by putting on a little tint. It's like a smoke tint or a smoke effect tint. This is a removable coating because I don't really want to just paint it. And the black paint one that there was there, way too illegal. Like I'd be pulled over straight away. I do actually have new lights coming in for the car. I'm not going to spoil too much on what's happening with that, but those should really clean up the back end of it a lot more, especially with something else that I have to do for that as well for it to work. I'm going to figure out how the hell these come off, because I'd rather take them off to paint because I'm not having to then worry about masking all around here, and should look much cleaner than risking having like overspray or trying to worry about like tape lifting up the paint everywhere. Just much nicer. Take them off. It should be relatively straightforward to do that. I've got about 5 million things kind of going on with the car as well, so it's things are everywhere. Oh, there's one. There's two. Yeah, be careful of these ones. You don't want to pull this way, you want to push out that way. Twist these out. Try not to let them smack on anything too hard. That will be much easier to try and paint than having to mask up all around and try to get in all these edges here. So now that we have them off, we don't really need to worry about any overspray kind of getting on the car, so we don't need to do any masking. I'm not too fussed if the coating gets on this black rubber here either, or black plastic actually. But it's pretty much just clean it up really good, wax and grease remover all over them. There's no electronics or anything on them anymore, so we don't need to worry about getting any of that stuff wet. And then if they look kind of like, then I've got my new lights that are coming in at some point anyway that I can just swap them out with. So you want to make sure you kind of clean like on the inside a little bit as well, because you're blowing compressed air around it, so you don't want to be moving any of that dust and it falling back onto your freshly painted lights. So it's a good idea to try and remove any of the free dust that's kind of on the back as well, because this stuff will definitely get moved by that free flowing air like that and end up on your paintwork. Okay, first coat, dust coat. That gives it a base to stick on. And once that dries, so we'll give it about 5 minutes to dry. We'll do another 3 or 4 coats that'll be on a little bit heavier than that. So like a medium coat. Same thing again, let it dry for about 5 minutes, chuck on another coat, let it dry again for 5 minutes, and then chuck on what should be a final coat. Not too sure how much it's coming up on camera, but you can really start to see like the smoke look setting in now. That really increases the risk. Whoa, almost lost balance. Really increases the risk of getting pulled over. But relatively easy to remove the lights. Like, don't even need to remove any of the interior trim. It's just that little plastic piece and then just 2 bolts and it's out. So much easier than having to try and mask all around the gaps here. So I would 100% recommend just taking the light out. And I kind of almost forgot to record this until I was editing. We're gonna try out with our lights on to actually make sure that we can somewhat see them. My battery's dead. Let's try this again. I mean, they're on. They're not the brightest things in the world. And lights, well, driving lights, yeah, look, you cannot tell in the day. But I'm sure at night you'd be able to see them much better. And I can't really test my brake light. Hold up. Oh, you know what? It's only temporary. With the way some drivers are with tailgating, I do not have confidence in these showing up. That's burning something. And it's not fuel.